I was rejected from 126 companies, dude. Come my junior year, right? Now it's a bit more busy and trying to find like a junior internship where you want to, because my goal was always be like, I want to like chill in my senior year, right?
Yeah.
I don't want to, I don't want to like be stressed out having to find jobs. So this junior year sort of like recruiting cycle for an internship is like almost the make or break moment, right? And honestly, it wasn't encouraging. I was rejected from 126 companies, dude.
That's a very specific number. I'm glad that you
I
kept
remember that. I
account.
kept a tally of that, right? So I basically had
Yeah.
a list of companies at that point. So I started off as very specific. I want to apply to these
Yeah.
kind of companies. As the rejection letter comes in, the list started to grow, right?
So did you start with like a Google sheet? Like that's the same thing I
Yeah,
did. So I had like a Google sheet of positions and like places that, and I was
right.
very generous about like whatever I'd add to this Google sheet because I also had to go through like the 100+ rejections, and I had like the sheet formulated so that every time I had a rejection, the line item would just go red. My Google sheet was mostly red, and I'm like, okay, you know what? I don't care if this is in Warsaw, Indiana. I don't
That's
care
true.
if this is, like in like this is not in a urban place. I just want an internship. But yeah, let's talk about that
Oh,
a bit
that was
more.
exactly the case, dude. I was rejected from a lot of places. It's a very discouraging process, right? For
Yeah,
all folks who are applying for a junior internship. At the end of the day, it's a game of maximizing probability. How would you actually and
yeah.
the odds are against you in all honesty, right? So don't get discouraged by the plethora of rejections. So
So
I think come winter
just
break.
real quick, just taking a
Yeah.
break here because I think this is something that a lot of people don't realize going into the internship application process. Like, I just want to stress at this point, David has a stellar resume. Like leading up to your application, leading up to the application cycle junior year, you've had a stellar resume, and in spite of that, in your arsenal, you've had to go through a tremendous amount of rejections. And this is normal. Like you just have to be brave enough and persistent enough to just keep
Right.
applying to as many internship positions as you can, because at the end of the day, it's like you said, maximizing the probability of landing one, and it's a numbers game. That
It's a
being
number.
said, do you think that there were certain strategies when it came to applying that helped you out? Like, did you develop an approach to maybe landing an interview or getting
Right.
more hooks?
So I think there are a couple angles here, right? One is networking. Like I see more and more tough student, and so I've been working in the industry for the past 3 years now and a bit, right?
Yeah.
When I started out in 2018, there weren't that many tough students reaching out. But right now, I get 3, 5 LinkedIn mails per day asking if I can do a call, right? I mean, initially, it's fine, but as the numbers grow, it's a bit hard to manage.
Yeah.
In all honesty, but networking absolutely super important, right? I think that's Tufts not benefiting having a business school is somewhat not realizing the full potential of going hard at networking session, but also being sincere, right? You don't want to be like transactional in these
Yeah.
interactions, right? I mean, the other party knows that what you like what are you looking for, but at the end of
Right.
the day, it's you want to build person to person sort of interaction. So tying back to my story, and basically this is the approach that I did, right? So come winter break, I wasn't getting any interviews, zero. I was super disheartened. I went out. My family was actually, so I was actually about to fly back to Jakarta, and then I got an email from Bain. It's like, holy shit, you're scheduled for an interview in New York, just right after the winter break. So I did nothing but practice case interview during that winter break. Like
I see.
legit, I spent 6 hours a day, different people, like talking, just literally case interview. Because I don't know if you've gone through this process. In consulting, interviews are very specific. It's almost like a sport. It's
Yeah.
like 85% muscle memory and 15% art, right? So you can practice that. So that's what I did, right? But then how I realized that the fact that how I got the internship, or at least the interview, right? So Bain wasn't a target school back then. It is now for Tufts wasn't a target school for Bain back then. Now it is. I think the only reason I got an interview was I connected to a Tufts alum who was at Bay in Jakarta. He's an American guy. He's no longer there. He's in LinkedIn now. But this was a while back, like 2-3 years ago. I just randomly cold emailed this person and it was like, hey man, give me your resume. Come junior year, I'll hook you up or I'll put your name in for an application. So I didn't realize that. I was like, holy shit. So the power of networking was actually quite prevalent there. Did well in an interview, well enough to actually land an internship. So I was actually working there. Thank you. I work at Bay in Jakarta for that summer in 2017, right? This was your first job, like real job, right? That you're actually getting paid. So there's a sense of self-actualization in the Maslow's theory that they're actually worth something, right?
Yeah. Yeah.
As like a 20-year-old kid, so basically what happened was that all the Bain interns they got to attend like a 2-week training in Singapore, all expenses paid, breakfast, lunch, dinner, right? So as a 20-year-old kid, like that, you felt like you're on top of the world. Like you've never felt more legit in your life.
Yeah.
So, that was a good feeling. But anyways, turns out the internship was actually much more stressful than the interview because the internship is actually treated as a 10-week interview, right?
Yikes. I see.
If you're applying as a full-timer, you have 40 minutes to sort of proof, but also like mess up on some things, right? But in the internship, you have 10 weeks to sort of like, you're in a limbo of whether you're gonna get a job or not, right? So
yeah,
thankfully I got the job, was due to return the year after in June 2018.